Welcome back to the channel. This is 20 Storm and you are watching 6th part of What If Naruto Became Heir of No Life Prince. If you enjoy this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
Main gate of Konoha. Shikamaru, Karen, and Kiba stood at Konoha's main gate, waiting for their remaining teammates, but it wasn't long before both appeared. "Hey, you're that Anbu from the preliminary exams," Kiba exclaims. Naruto sighs and removes his mask, saying, "That's not all dog breath," which causes Kiba to gawk in surprise. "Kiba, you can't gawk later. Sasuke has a few hours on the clock. So I came up with a plan for us to follow. If you deviate from this, we will all perish," Shikamaru says, causing Kiba to freeze. "We'll proceed in a single file formation. Kiba will be our leader." Because of their walks, he and Akamaru are well versed in geography. Furthermore, their noses will warn us of enemy traps. The second will be me as squad leader. Naruto came next, then Karen, and finally, Shikamaru continues, glancing at Tenten. "Panda. I can provide long-range protection for our medic," Tenten says, gesticulating with his hands. As the rear guard, Panda will have the most difficult job, but Naruto can help with shadow clones. Now each of you look at this and memorize it. This will be your quadrants for watching. Shikamaru says this while pulling out a scroll and drawing several diagrams. "Right everyone. Check your gear with each other before we leave," Naruto says, and they all nod, showing off their gear. "You can also refer to us by our code names, Panda and Kaiketsuki," Naruto says, and they all nod. "Alright, let's go," Shikamaru says, and they all rush off at full genin speed. The team races through the forest in search of Sasuke as time passes. Kiba yells, "Oi Shikamaru! I smell blood ahead." Shikamaru narrows his eyes. "I'll send a clone to investigate," Naruto says, and a clone appears before disappearing. Does the enemy know we're coming, or did they meet another team? Shikamaru wondered. Shizune and Iwashi arrive at a clearing and both gasp at the devastation, but they also see the downed forms of Genma and Raid. "Genma?" Shizune exclaims, rushing to him and checking for a pulse. This isn't good, Shizune thought as he noticed his irregular pulse. Shizune hoists Genma onto his back while Iwashi does the same for Raid, before slamming her hands together and glowing a pale green. "I can't believe these two were killed," Iwashi exclaims. Shizune starts to heal Genma and then moves to Rado. "This is the best I can go for now," she thought. "I'm going to pursue the enemy," Iwashi says, but Shizune shakes her head. "Wait Iwashi," says Genma. "It appears you were ambushed," a voice says, and Shizune notices Naruto. "Kaiketsuki," says Shizune. Naruto gets down and looks around. What happened? He wonders. F4 enemies. The ones who helped Orochimaru, Genma begins, groaning. "Genma. Stop talking," Shizune orders. "I'll notify the team." Lady Fifth has dispatched a team to find Sasuke Uchiha. He has left the village to join Orochimaru. They all gasp as Naruto says this. "Who was sent?" asks Iwashi. "Myself. Panda. Kiba Inuzuka. Karen Uzumaki. And Shikamaru Nara as team leader," says Naruto. "Two Genin and Chunin on an Anbu team," Iwashi says. "We were assembled at the last minute. Shizune, could you please bring these two back to the village with Iwashi?" Naruto inquires, and Shizune nods. "Alright. I'll forward the original of your findings to you," says and dismisses Naruto. "This is definitely a hastily formed perimeter," Kiba remarks as they pass through several ninja wires. "I can sense them ahead, as well as a lot of malicious chakra," Karen says. For a brief moment, Naruto's eyes glaze over. There are a total of 4. They are the elites of Orochimaru. That is, Jonin level or higher. Shikamaru is shocked, he says. This isn't good, Shikamaru thought, motioning for them to stop. Shikamaru quickly devises a strategy, and the team splits up to make their move, with Tenten guarding Karen and Kiba and Shikamaru on Overwatch. Shikamaru, on the other hand, is unaware of the numerous spiderwebs in certain areas around them. Not far away, Kidomaru opens his eyes and twitches his finger on the spider string before shifting his gaze to Saken. He quickly appears and tosses a kunai containing several paper bombs toward a tree. Shikamaru and Kiba are thrown into the clearing near the Sound 4 when it explodes. What exactly is this? When I throw a knife, 2 small bugs appear as Jiraiya moves to intercept them, Saken says. Wait. We didn't come to fight, but to bargain, Shikamaru says. Then what are these? Kidomaru exclaims, pulling back and yanking the remaining members of their team except for Naruto. 4 little mice among snakes, sneers Kidomaru. Karen was struggling to keep her senses in check due to the amount of malicious chakra exuding from the Sound 4. Jiraiya slams his hands on the ground. Doden Kekai. Door DMU, he yells. Shikamaru and the others exclaim, this is bad, as an earth-like dome surrounds them. Leave these children to me, Jiraiya says. Hee. Hurry up and finish your meal. Then come after us as Kidomaru grabs the barrel, Saken says. Leaving so soon. Such rude dinner guests, a voice says as the Sound 4 comes to a halt. Jiraiya TSKS and draws in some chakra as Naruto lands on the dome with his mask on. Go. Jiraiya shouts as the others leap away. You think one Anbu can stop me? Sneers Jiraiya, but Naruto titters behind his mask. Let's find out, says Naruto, making a fist and channeling his chakra. Feel the sting of the Senk, Naruto exclaims, punching the dome, which shudders before shattering. Jiraiya leaps back in anger as Naruto appears in front of his team. Take the others and follow the rest of them, Shikamaru. We can't afford to squander time, says Naruto. You are not leaving. You are all going to be my dinner, Jiraiya yells, charging them with a shoulder charge, but Naruto counters with his own. Now Shikamaru, yells Naruto. Shikamaru TSKS to the others and shouts, we'll pursue the others. They leap off. Naruto leaps backwards as Jiraiya slams his palm against the ground, shattering the earth and knocking down several trees. Hey. Trash sacrificing trash, Jiraiya sneers, slamming his hands on the ground. Doden. Dori Dango, Jiraiya exclaims as he tosses a large section of earth forward. Naruto avoids the boulder as it tears a large area before tossing several kunai, but Jiraiya avoids. Jiraiya meets Naruto with a spear into the boulder, shouting, shatter palm, striking Naruto in the chest and cracking the boulder. Naruto vomits blood as Jiraiya's curse mark spreads across his body. I recall you. You touched Orochimaru-sama, as Naruto's mask falls from his face, Jiraiya says. He'll respect me. When I bring your head to him, Jiraiya sneers as his curse mark spreads further. His mohawk transforms into a long spiky mane that reaches his shoulders, his skin turns brownish-reddish, and he develops yellow eye irises with dark black eye sclera. Ha ha ha. Prepare to die, trash, Jiraiya exclaims as he rushes up to Naruto. Up ahead, Karen exclaims, pointing. After marking the area for Naruto to follow, the team quickly closes the gap with the remains of the Sound 4. We'll need to catch up before Naruto arrives, Shikamaru says, and everyone nods except Karen, whose eyes widen. Everyone dodge, Karen exclaims, and everyone does as several arrows pierce the tree.
Hovo a censor and you're that Uzumaki.
Orochimaru-sama wanted, Kidomaru says as he lands in front of them. Tenten makes 2 fists and pulls hidden blades from her sleeves. Proceed with caution. I'll take care of this. He is far more powerful than the large one, she claims. Kiba was about to say something, but Akamaru whimpers in agreement with Tenten. Then it's just one person. One kill, like you said, Shikamaru, Kiba says. It appears so. If we don't fight him right away, Sasuke will cross the border. Alright. We'll leave it to you, Panda, before the jump, Shikamaru says. Kidomaru only grins as the rest of the team leaps away. That's alright. I'll have fun with you, little panda. You appear to be powerful, he claims. As Kidomaru chuckles, Tenten tosses off her cloak, revealing standard Anbu attire. Now I want to play. It is a waste if a game is not played gradually, he says, cracking his knuckles. To begin, I'll kill you in 3 minutes, Kidomaru sneers before unleashing a torrent of spider webs. Tenten dodges and cuts them as Kidomaru continues to spew them at her, eventually catching her and pinning her to a tree. Hee hee. I'm bored in a minute. It's time for you to go, before his cheeks swell, Kidomaru says. Kumo Nanken, thought Kidomaru, spewing golden web like a spear. Tenten smirks and explodes into crows, startling Kidomaru, but he jerks as several explosive kunai appear and explode around him. Tenten lands with a solemn expression behind her mask as the smoke clears, revealing Kidomaru unharmed and protected by golden armor. That was very close. I would have been toast if I hadn't used my Nanken no Yoroi, Kidomaru says, raising his hand. It's not just from my mouth either. My Kumo Nanken can be secreted from any part of my body. Increasing its hardness to that of steel, Kidomaru continues. Then he might be able to stop those as well, Tenten reasoned. Kidomaru then vanishes and Tenten narrows her eyes before dodging a kunai, but her breath becomes choppy. A fake, Tenten thinks as she sees kunai shaped with the Kumo Nanken approaching her. FTON. Tatsumaki, Tenten thought, spinning a wind vortex and blocking the weapons. Impossible. Only the Hyuga could see behind them, I assumed, Kidomaru reflected, his eyes flickering. Tenten tosses a kunai into the trees and Kidomaru ducks under it. Can she see me, he thought. We're both long-distance users. As a result, the first to locate their target, Tenten pondered as Kidomaru appeared. As his curse mark in the form of twisted, entwining lines spreading throughout his body, he hangs on the underside of a tree. I'll admit that this game is a little difficult, but I still have the upper hand, Kidomaru sneers, biting his thumb and weaving signs. Kuchiyose no Jutsu, Kidomaru declares as he slams his hand against some webbing. Tenten exhales and her eyes widen as a large black spider with orange stripes appears behind her mask. The spider lays a large egg sac, which Kidomaru cuts open, releasing a swarm of baby spiders towards Tenten. Scatter, he yells. Tenten slams her palms together and slowly pulls them apart, revealing thin wires before swiping her hands and sending the wire forth to kill the spiders. Die, Kidomaru yells, hurling a Kumo Nanken kunai knife at Tenten. She counters by sending more wires, but this time she adds her raiden to it, catching the knife in her threads. So she's not just a long-range shooter. Those wires look like mine. Hey, I'll just keep my distance and get more from her, Kidomaru, moving through the woods while pulling his webbing. Tenten dodges numerous kunai knives, using her threads to block more that appear as she lands. Raiden. Rensa Kaminari, Tenten thought as she fired a charge through her wires, killing a slew of spiders. The sheer number of spiders proves too much, creating enough of a distraction for a kunai knife to sever her right arm. Tenten stumbles slightly but grunts in pain as a knife slashes her upper right shoulder. Ha ha ha. Here comes more, Kidomaru exclaims. Tenten thought, damn it, as 2 knives pierced her back. Kidomaru's laughter begins to reverberate throughout the forest. Little panda, it appears you've reached your limit. It's time to call it quits on this level, he asserts. The spider roars and attacks Tenten, but she sends her threads while weaving signs. Tenten thought, Kaiten. Raika no jutsu, incinerating the spider, but several kunai knives pierced her body and cracked her mask. Game over, Kidomaru muses as he turns to leave but comes to a halt. Tenten slowly stands up, half her mask falling to the ground. Looks like I missed her vitals, Kidomaru reflected as his curse mark grew larger. His skin darkens and he develops yellow irises with black sclera. His canine teeth and fingernails grow longer and gray, and he develops horns on his forehead, shoulders, and elbows.
Kidomaru opens his now wide mouth, revealing a third eye as he creates a bow with his Kumonenkan.
Instant death, Kidomaru reasoned as he fired the arrow. The ground explodes, and Kidomaru laughs but gasps as Tenten dodges his attack but at the expense of her left arm. Impossible, he thinks. Tenten gets down on one knee and clutches the stump of her left arm, then uses the mystic palm to stop the bleeding. He does not attack unnecessarily. As one would expect from a sniper, sacrificing my arm may be enough to entice him to attack me up close, Tenten pondered. Kidomaru creates another arrow, this time with a spiral tip. I'll wrap this up now. The time for games has passed, he set his bow, thinking. Maximum destruction, Kidomaru reasoned as he fired his arrow. As Tenten gets to her feet, it tears through the forest, piercing her lower right side and the tree behind her. Tenten spits blood from her mouth, but grabs the thread and sends her Raiden through, shocking Kidomaru and knocking him from the tree. Oh no. She had enough chakra to make this last-ditch effort, but I can still move, Kidomaru pondered. Tenten slashes herself free and rushes forward as blood pours from her wound, her severed arm transforming into a crow and flying away. Kidomaru arrives with a growl. This time has been difficult for me. Perhaps I played too much, he gasps as a crow flies at him and transforms into an arm to pierce his stomach. Ah. Fuck. Kidomaru exclaims as he lands on his back with a thud. Tenten appears with glowing purple eyes and black voids in her whites. W. Who are you? H. How are you still alive? Kidomaru exclaims. I am one of the queens of the no-life Duke and technically. I'm not alive, Tenten says, opening her mouth wider to show her sharp teeth. Kidomaru screams as his veins become more visible on his skin, but a wet thud catches his attention. It appears I missed the show, a voice says. As Naruto lands, he casts 10 glances to see the severed head of Jiraiya. I'm almost done. He forced me to work for my food, she claims. Kidomaru feels his life draining from him as his body begins to shrivel up. Oh Orochimaru's ama, he thought. Tenten takes a stuttering step into Naruto. Easy, he says, draping his coat over her. The others went ahead, Tenten says as he clutches his coat. Shikamaru will most likely wait until sunrise to attack, Naruto says, looking up at the setting sun. Wouldn't it be better to attack them at night, especially with this Inkiba? Asks Tenten. Naruto examines Kidomaru's mummified corpse. Shikamaru has no idea who we are.
Even with Kiba, the enemy has the upper hand.
He also won't be able to use his Kagemane, he elaborates. Do we go ahead and pass the others? Tenten asks, but Naruto shakes his head. This is a litmus test for the others. For the time being, we'll catch up and wait until morning. If they split up, you will follow Karen, before both of them vanish, Naruto says and Tenten nods. Location is unknown. Can you confirm this, Itachi? Asks a voice projected with purple rippled patterned eyes. Itachi is standing next to Kisame in front of this projection. I witnessed it with my own Sharingan. Shisui's Sharingan is held by the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, Itachi states. He even claims he can't release the Kyuubi either, Kisame says. How can we confirm this pain? Another female projection asks. It doesn't matter. Itachi. Kisame will capture the Kyuubi. Even if he knows about me, Pain says. Yes, Leader Sama, Itachi responds, and the projections stop. What will we do, Pain? The woman inquires. We will capture the Jinchuriki Konan, and if the Kyuubi is as Itachi said, we will find a way to take the Biju from him, Pain says, and Konan nods, uncertain. The following day, forests of Fire Country. We have to save Kiba and Akamaru, Karen says, looking at Tayuya. Karen, take the barrel and run. I'll hold her off, Shikamaru says of the barrel containing Sasuke. However, before either of them can react, Kimimaro lands on the barrel like a leaf, kicks it away, and takes it for himself. You're too late, Tayuya, says Kimimaro, looking around. Where are the other three? He adds. Shikamaru, this guy is much stronger than them, Karen says in fear of Kimimaro. This isn't a good sign. This guy was not even considered in my calculations, Shikamaru expresses himself. Why are you? Your body? Asks Tayuya. My body is already shattered. My will propels my body forward, Kimimaro asserts. You just don't know when to die, says Tayuya. Kimimaro runs his hands along the barrel, saying, this is important to Orochimaru-sama, but you were all too late, shocking Tayuya. Karen is correct. This individual is dangerous, Shikamaru pondered. Tayuya shuncheons next to Kimimaro, but he leans in, there's a reason I'm not killing you right now. You have a responsibility to fulfill. While I am transporting the vessel to Orochimaru-sama, Tayuya freezes in shock as he says this. If Gurren were here, you'd be thoroughly punished, Kimimaro adds. Fucking bastards. If I had the power, I would kill them all, Tayuya thought as she bit her lip to draw blood. You said it was too late, says Tayuya. While this is true, this is the vessel Orochimaru-sama seeks. This is all I can do for him at the moment, Kimimaro states and shifts his gaze, but his pupils constrict. I'll leave these pieces of garbage to you. Keep the Uzumaki alive, however, Kimimaro continues, making Karen flinch. Tayuya shifts her gaze to Shikamaru and Karen as the leader of the Sound 5 leaps to the barrel and takes off. What can we do? Asks Karen. We take a seat and wait. We must adhere to the one person, one kill principle. I'll provide a distraction, and you must pursue him, Shikamaru says, causing Karen's breath to catch. I'm not much a fighter. I'm not going to fight someone like that, Karen states. Shikamaru sighs as he maintains his gaze on Tayuya, you only need to slow him down. I know Naruto is on his way. He'll be present, he claims. Oi, what are you fucks whispering about? Yells Tayuya, taking out a silver flute. Go Karen. Shikamaru exclaims as he draws kunai and leaps forward, Karen close behind. Tayuya uses her flute to block Karen as she chases Kimimaro. You fucks, Tayuya exclaims. Karen ignores Kunoichi's foul mouth and leaps through the trees in search of Kimimaro. Karen soon arrives at a large clearing, but she notices Kimimaro waiting for her. Oh no, he's expecting me. Perhaps I should have stayed, she reflected as she landed in the clearing. I was told not to kill you. So give up, Kimimaro asserts. Karen takes a deep breath and pulls a familiar kunai from her pouch. All I have to do now is wait. Keep him here until Naruto arrives, she pondered. I'll give you one last chance to surrender trash, or I'll leave only enough for you to be useful to Orochimaru-sama, says Kimimaro. Karen gulps as a bead of sweat runs down her brow, but she presses on as two ivory blades emerge from Kimimaro's palms. Karen flashes the cross sign, and two clones appear and begin flashing signs, stopping at Heir. Sweden. Miserapa, the clones yell, hurling a stream of water at him. Kimimaro leaps and dodges the streams as the true Karen tosses the kunai into her hand, which he casually blocks, but his breath catches as a flash erupts. Naruto appears with his leg raised, approaching Kimimaro and slamming him into the ground with a small thud. Thank Kami, it worked. Naruto shunshins behind Karen. Excellent work. However, your work is not finished. Panda is with Kiba, and we have a backup, Naruto says, keeping a watchful eye on Kimimaro. Backup, Karen says as Kimimaro slowly rises. Lady Fifth persuaded Suna to send some backup. It is now time for you to get to work, Naruto says, touching her shoulder, before disappearing in a flash. Now then, shall we dance? Says Naruto. More garbage has appeared. I'll have to clean it up and find the girl, Kimimaro expresses himself. This trash is more dangerous than you think, Naruto says behind his mask as he draws his Chikuto. The tension builds as both men assess each other, but Naruto makes the first move and charges forward. Kimimaro meets Naruto with his left blade to block his strikes and swings his right, but Naruto ducks under the strike. Naruto lowers his left hand to block Kimimaro's kick, then moves his head to avoid a blade from Kimimaro's knee. Bone, Naruto thought as he slipped away with a shunshin. Kimimaro stands up, bones protruding from his elbows, shoulders, and both knees. Sayura Kagaya, Naruto says, assuming a Gadotsu stance. Yes. I am Kimimaro Kagaya. The last Kagaya, he says, pinning his green eyes on Naruto's lone eye. Naruto breaks his stance and slowly reaches for his mask, saying, well, you can call me Kaikatsuki, but my real name is Naruto Uzumaki, before tossing the mask aside. The one who harmed Orochimaru-sama, says Kimimaro as the bones recede. As a bone emerges from the shoulder area, he unzips his shirt enough to pull his left arm out. However, black smoke suddenly emerges from the barrel as Kimimaro fashions a sword from his bone. It'll be soon now, he says. Naruto grips his sword and channels FTON through it, saying, FTON, Kazaha, swinging 3 times. Kimimaro swings to cleanly and evenly block each, it's pointless. This is not your average bone. It has the same density as steel, he claims. I have 5 dances. I'll show you the Tsubaki no Mai in particular, Kimimaro says, as Naruto smirks, licking his lips and flashing his fangs. We'll see, Naruto says, lunging forward with a Gadotsu thrust, but Kimimaro deflects it, and Naruto smirks. You escaped being stabbed, but, Naruto thought as he cut open Kimimaro's side. The Sound 5's leader leaps back and touches his bleeding side. It's impressive that you cut me. You increased the wind on your blade, Kimimaro says as he moves forward. As smoke rises from the barrel, Naruto meets him as their weapons clack from each strike, parry, counter-strike, or connect. Both have several minor gashes on their bodies and pass each other with a loud clang. You're mildly interesting for someone on the verge of death.
A single man's will is terrifying, Naruto says as he turns and charges.
My life is dedicated to Orochimaru-sama. There is nothing I can't do, Kimimaro says, turning and charging. The smoke builds up in the barrel, causing both to come to a halt. It's finally time. I've been looking forward to it, Kimimaro expresses himself. The barrel's seals rip and it explodes with purple smoke, but it clears to reveal Sasuke, who has dark skin and long grayish hair that recedes to his normal black hair. As Kimimaro smirks, Sasuke slowly raises his hands with a trembling laugh. Go to Orochimaru-sama, he says as Naruto drives his Chikudo into the ground. No, he won't, Naruto exclaims as he weaves signs around Tiger. As Naruto slams his hands into the ground, Sasuke prepares to leap away. Mokuton. Jubaku Ice, Naruto yells. Sasuke and Kimimaro both exclaim in surprise as wooden roots erupt from the ground and ensnare Sasuke. What? Sasuke exclaims. Kimimaro charges Naruto, but a clone appears and shunshuns Sasuke, while the real Naruto raises his right hand to block the downward strike. The blow breaks Naruto's arm, but he uses his shoulder to spin and slam a roundhouse kick, sending Kimimaro back with a skid. Sorry, Sasuke-kun, but you don't get to run, sneers the clone. Tobi. Screams Sasuke, but the clone places a hand on his chest. Finjutsu. Light of the false world, says the clone. As the clone places a hand on Sasuke's chest, his vision blurs and he passes out, and they both vanish. Kahahaha. Mission failure, and Orochimaru's dreams remain just that, Nagu sneers. Kimimaro gives Naruto a serious look as the blonde smirks. You will pay for this, Kimimaro hisses. Oh yes. Come force me to pay, with a wild look in his eyes, Naruto yells. Naruto picks up his severed arm and reattaches it with a wiggle of his fingers before leaping forward. Konoha senpai, Naruto says, spinning his kick, and Kimimaro blocks, but he skids a little. Naruto lands and delivers a low kick, but Kimimaro leaps to avoid it as Naruto responds with a flurry of strikes, and both land with a skid. Naruto advances and ducks under Kimimaro's thrust, connecting with an uppercut and lifting him off the ground, but he sends his blade down and through Naruto's left forearm. That doesn't work, Naruto howls, connecting with a right cross and knocking Kimimaro to the ground. What's the problem? I thought you were going to make me pay for failing your mission, Naruto yells as he yanks the bone sword from his arm. Kimimaro slowly rises to his feet and removes his shirt as his curse mark spreads from his chest in the shape of contorting and parallel lines. His arms twitch quickly as bone blades emerge from his forearms, before he raises his arms and fires the bone blades at Naruto. Naruto slams his hands on the ground, causing an earthen wall to rise in front of him as he rushes towards Kimimaro. Karamatsu no Mai! Screams Kimimaro as bone erupts from his chest and back. Naruto closes his eyes as Kimimaro rushes him and extends his bones to pierce him, but a clone appears and allows Naruto to switch. Naruto charges a Rasengan and slams it into Kimimaro's chest, throwing him back several feet as he skids to a stop. His bones softened the blow a little, Naruto reflected. Come on now. I'm waiting for you to murder me. If you can't, you can return to your master and inform him that you failed, Naruto yells. Kimimaro rises to his feet, his bones receding and his curse mark spreading. I have no choice but to use it, he thinks. Naruto's brow furrows as Kimimaro transforms in front of his eyes, his skin turning dark gray, with black sclera, yellow irises, sharp teeth, and 6 large bone spines protruding from his back. He has a long bone spike tail and 2 dark black curve-like markings under his eyes, as well as elongated brows. What a transformation! So this is the full extent of the curse power. Marks hehehehe. Intriguing, Naruto says as he assumes a horseback stance. I can do something similar, Naruto says, his teeth sharpening. Naruto grinds his teeth as his body grows in size, his shirt sleeves rip, and white fur appears on his skin. As his feet become more digitigrade, his boots and pants rip below the knee, and his face stretches to gain a snout and wolf-like features. Awoo! Roars Naruto, howling into the sky. What kind of creature are you? Asks Kimimaro. Naruto laughs deeply and gutturally, the most dreadful kind of monster. Kimimaro Kagaya is now. "Show me your strength," he yells, shooting on 2 legs before switching to 4. Kimimaro leans forward as his spinal cord protrudes from his back, forming a whip-like bone sword. "Tessenka no Mai, Suru," says Kimimaro. Naruto leaps and spins into a twister, thinking, "TSGA," as Kimimaro swings his vine-like sword around him. Kimimaro clenches his teeth and swings down, slamming Naruto to the ground and yanking back to tear into his body. Tessenka no Mai, Hana. "A bone of the strongest calcification," Kimimaro says, as bones spiral around his left arm. "Ho. Well, come pierce my heart with it," Naruto says as blood drips from his wounds and slobber from his maw. As Naruto spreads his arms, Kimimaro shoots forward, piercing Naruto's chest with his flower bone, but the vampire melts into black sludge and pulls him back. "What?" Although Kimimaro hisses, his eyes widen. Naruto charged at him with a large Rasengan that emitted white flames, ha ha ha. "Prepare a place for your master in death," he screams.
"I'm sorry, Orochimaru-sama," Kimimaro thought as the Rasengan slammed into him.
"Cruel son," Naruto says, grinding Kimimaro to a pulp. Naruto lets go and falls, his clawed hands still smoking as his body returns to human form. "I need to come up with a better name," Naruto muses. Kimimaro lies motionless, his body scorched, but his eyes shoot open as he lurches up, but a smoking hole erupts in his head. With a blank expression on his face, Naruto held out his smoking Colt, thinking, "This isn't a horror movie," and the gun vanished like a wisp of smoke. Naruto rolls his neck and puts a cigarette in his mouth, lighting it and sucking in deeply before exhaling. "So, now. It's time to go home to eat, fuck, and sleep," Naruto muses before exploding into a crow murder. Tayuya groans in pain and blinks open her eyes weakly, "That fucking bitch. If it wasn't for my second level, I would be dead already," she reflected. Tayuya tries to move, but looks down to see her legs crushed beneath a tree. "Fuck. I can't die now. I need to pay that bastard back," she hisses, but is interrupted by a presence. Well, a lost soul on the verge of death," croons the figure. "Who the fuck are you?" yells Tayuya. The figure lowers his head to reveal his face, "My name is Naruto, but you can call me your savior. If you enjoy," he claims. "Savior?" hisses Tayuya. Naruto smiles and leans in close to her face, "Yes, I can provide you with real power. Unlike Orochimaru's phony power, I can provide you with the object of your vengeance." "Gurren," he claims. "What?" "Orochimaru stated that she was missing," says Tayuya, but recoils as Naruto touches her cheek. "He would, of course. Gurren, on the other hand, is missing, but I have her locked away while I decide what to do with her. However, if you accept my power, I can give you her to do whatever you want with," says Naruto.
Tayuya looks at Naruto as the shadows hide his upper body and the sun shines down on her, but she is dying.
As an added bonus, "My power will completely remove your curse mark," says Naruto, and Tayuya gasps. "So, have you changed your mind? Speak up and I will save you, or you will perish here with me as your sole witness," Naruto continues. Tayuya clenches her teeth, "Why yes. I accept," she says. "I'm sorry, but I can't hear you. Speak up." "Speak with conviction," Naruto says as he reaches for the piece of wood. "Yes. I accept. Fuck. I offer myself to you," Tayuya yells, and Naruto grins as he lifts the tree off her. Naruto then digs his nail into his right forearm, releasing black blood, and says, "Here, drink, holding his arm over her mouth. Tayuya's eyes narrow, but she opens her mouth as Naruto grips his wrist and makes a fist to give more blood. Tayuya drinks the blood, but when Naruto pulls his arm away, she begins screaming and clawing at her throat. Tayuya begins to convulse and clutch her throat as her legs heal, with loud sizzling and pale skin. Her sclera darkens and her brown eyes turn purple as a voiceless scream echoes and her canines grow longer. As a clone appears, Naruto picks up the now still alive Tayuya. "We're going to sleep at NA HQ. Please notify Lady Fifth of our success and keep an eye on the others." He says this, and the clone nods before disappearing. Naruto quickly follows and arrives at NA headquarters, where he finds an empty room and constructs a coffin for Tayuya. The blonde sighs as he slips a cigarette into his mouth but decides against it, placing it behind his ear and crossing his legs at the ankles. "Tayuya has given me the required 6 for the CRA, and her blood has led me to the location of that pedo. I also need to complete my black mission and find Pain before going to sleep," Naruto thought and felt his clones dissipate. Hours passed as both older and newborn vampires slept, while news of Sasuke's defection and capture spread through Konoha's rookie group. Sakura and Ino defended their tragic prince, while the others countered with Kiba's injuries and Sakura's own admission that he was leaving, but it went unnoticed. Kiba sustained serious but non-life-threatening injuries, whereas Akamaru sustained severe injuries and would not be able to move for some time. Sasuke was immediately taken to Anbu HQ and his chakra was sealed until the council decided on his fate. Naturally, Koharu and Homura tried to free the boy on the grounds that it was the curse mark that influenced him, but Tsunade was having none of it. Nightfall. Tayuya exhales loudly and emerges from the coffin with wide and glowing purple eyes, frantically looking around and noticing Naruto laying on the cot. "If you're ready." "Gurren is down to the right," says Naruto, his eyes still closed. Tayuya rolls her neck slowly to her feet, looking at her paler skin and feeling her new fangs with her tongue. "Fuck, bring me." "I'm unfamiliar with this location," Tayuya says as he gets off the cot, and Naruto sighs. Naruto motions for her to follow and they proceed to Gurren's cell, where they find her laying on the cot, but he holds Tayuya back. "Good evening, Gurren." "I haven't attempted to flee," Naruto says, and Gurren's eyes widen before he stares at the blonde. "Bastard. What do you desire?" The Gurren hisses. Naruto smiles as he leans against the cell door. "So I've come to introduce you to someone." "She's been longing to see you." Gurren's eyes narrow, but her breath shortens as she notices Tayuya. "How's it going, babe?" "It's great to see you again," says Tayuya, mocking her. "What are you doing here?" Gurren exclaims. Tayuya enters the cell after Naruto opens the door. "Bitch, I'm finally going to kill you. It's about time I paid you back for everything you put me through," she claims. Gurren attempts to attack Tayuya, but the former Oto Kunoichi grabs her fist and backhands her onto the cot. According to him, "Once I suck you dry, you'll be my bitch for life," Tayuya says, showing her fangs. Gurren screams as Tayuya bites her neck, squirming in futility as the newborn vampire drinks her lifeblood. Naruto smiles as Gurren's fighting stops, as do her screams, as Tayuya yanks back with a voiceless roar and blood running down the lower half of her face. "Aw. That felt fucking cathartic," Tayuya hisses, her glowing eyes shifting to him. Tayuya leaves Gurren's body but rips off her head for good measure before approaching Naruto and poking him in the chest. "Now I'm horny. So, are we going to fuck?" Tayuya says, grinning at Naruto. Naruto closes his eyes as the council meets to decide what to do about Sasuke. Naturally, Koharu and Homura argued for mercy. They believed that the curse mark was the reason Sasuke defected and that he should not be held responsible. "What are you talking about?" "Because of him, my son was nearly killed," Sume exclaims. I agree with Sume. My son was also injured. Not to the extent of Kiba, but still injured. This was caused by Sasuke's attempt to defect to a known traitor, Shikaku expresses himself. Tsunade remains silent and turns to look at Naruto. Panda, do you have Kaiketsuki's report? She asks. Tenten places the report on the table and slides it to Tsunade before handing copies to each council member. After a few minutes, everyone reads Naruto's detailed report from his point of view, even adding Shikamaru's report from what he missed but leaving out his use of Mokuton. As you can see, Sasuke Uchiha left on his own accord, Tsunade says to Koharu and Homura. When it was staring them in the face in black and white, the two elders couldn't say anything. So, what will happen to Sasuke-sama? Homura asks. Sasuke's chakra will be sealed for 10 years in maximum security. His genetic material will be extracted and distributed to pre-screened surrogates. This will be the case until children are born, Tsunade says, turning to face the two elders. And with that, you two are no longer members of the council. You were the Uchiha's voice, but that is no longer the case, Tsunade continues. You can't do that, Hokage-sama, Homura says. I can and will. I'm glad I let you stay on the council. This much time. Now leave this room, Tsunade says, and the elders reluctantly leave the room, both glaring at Naruto. The remaining council members also depart, leaving the two vampires, Tsunade and Hiruzen, alone. So, when were you going to tell me about Dragon? Asks Naruto, as Hiruzen sighs. I wanted to, Naruto-kun, but... Says Hiruzen, but Naruto raises his hand. Gramps is someone I know. Dragon explained everything, but I'd like to go to Kumo and check on a hunch Dragon has, Naruto says, and Hiruzen nods slowly. Putting aside the dragon business. Where is the prisoner? Tsunade inquires. Naruto sighs and leans back in his chair, sleeping, he says. Will she talk? Asks Hiruzen, who nods and snaps his fingers. As Naruto opens his eyes, Tenten hands Tsunade and Hiruzen another file. It refers to the locations of Orochimaru's bases. Well, the ones she was aware of. Give us the order, and we'll find them, says Naruto. Make it a top priority. It's past time for Orochimaru to pay for his crimes, Tsunade says, and Naruto rises to his feet. On your order, Naruto says, apologizing, and Tenten follows him out. Why should she be turned? She was a foe, Tenten inquires as they exit the council chamber. As Tenten's clothes change, Naruto slips a cigarette into his mouth but does not light it. She is now dressed in a revealing black cheongsam with purple trim that slits up to her hips and is paired with revealing black spats and black pantyhose. With light purple eyeshadow and knee-length kunoichi boots, she wore fingerless arm sleeves and a black choker around her neck. Why not? She was out for vengeance on Orochimaru. She and Anko will get along, or you're just jealous of not having the baby, Tenten puffs her cheeks as Naruto smirks. No, it's just that she has a bad mouth, Tenten says, pulling sunglasses from her high-collar coat and slipping them on. Have you gone to see your parents? Asks Naruto, but Tenten shakes her head as they climb to the roofs and make their way to Naruto's complex. Tenten asks, how do I face them? But Naruto grabs her left hand. You're still the same person. The only thing that has changed is your global standing, Naruto thinks. I suppose, but I still have to control my bloodlust. So maybe next month, Tenten expresses himself. The two land in front of Naruto's door, which he unlocks to find Kurenai on the sofa with a book. Who else is home? Asks Naruto. Yugo is sound asleep. Hana is in the company of her brother and mother. While Anko is talking to Sakura Haruno at T&I. She apparently attempted to free the Uchiha, Kurenai elaborates. Well, that should get her kicked out of the Ninja Corp, Naruto muses as he lights his flavored cigarette. That leaves Team 7 without a member, just like my old team, Tenten says as she removes her coat. Tsunade-sama will almost certainly shuffle the rookie teams. Team 10 will remain unchanged, Kurenai expresses himself. Naruto blows a stream of smoke while preparing instant ramen. Perhaps this will serve as a wake-up call for Ino. Her beloved Sasuke-kun fled the village in search of power, he claims. I'm not sure, Tenten says. Naruto yawns slightly as he sips his ramen. I'm going to sleep. When the others arrive home, inform them that we have a black mission for tonight, he says as he walks to his room. What exactly is a black mission? Tenten inquires. Kurenai looks up from her book as she turns the page. It's an unplanned mission. It means something that not even the Hokage understands. If you are apprehended, you've been excommunicated and labeled a traitor, Tenten gasps as she explains. Kurenai says, Naruto must be up to something if he asked for it, and Tenten furrows her brow in thought. After a few hours, the village of Konoha is enveloped in darkness. As the clouds passed across the night sky, Naruto and his 5 queens, +1, stood atop the Hokage monument. Why are we fucking wearing this outfit? Asks Tayuya. Each of them was dressed in a black, skin-tight, short-sleeve leotard, matching fingerless gloves that reached their biceps, and thigh-high boots with straps and a hooded black cloak. Well, Yuya. This is an off-the-books mission. That means if we get caught, they won't know which village we're from, says Naruto. He also dresses in all black, with ambu cargo pants tucked into combat boots, a form-fitting long-sleeve shirt with silver trim, black gloves, and a half-mask. His blonde hair had turned completely black, and his whiskers had vanished. Now our mission is to go to a megacure, says Naruto. What's in aim? Anko inquires, and Naruto grins. The Akatsuki's leader. Our goal is to assassinate him and his second-in-command. Also, we want to learn everything we can about their operations. Let's get started, Naruto says, and they all vanish into the night. A megacure. Several guards stand on the lone bridge into a megacure, which features medieval stone tower gates. One of the guards narrows his eyes as a figure emerges from the misty rain, their form concealed by a black cloak and their face concealed by a white mask. It doesn't have a mouth or a nose, and its right eye is hidden behind a black eye patch, while its left eye has a black falling tear design and a feathered headdress. Halt right there, one of them yells, holding out their spears. The figure continues forward, ignoring the guards, prompting them to charge him, but all of them collapse as their necks spout blood. Before 6 black blurs erupt into the village, the blood moves as if alive and follows the figure beneath their cloak. Pain narrows his eyes and looks back in another part of the steampunk-style village, in the tallest tower. What is it? Konan inquires. Someone is disturbing the rain. His chakra is large, Pain says, frowning at Konan. Back with the figure, their visible eye notices the numerous pipes diverting rainwater. Naruto. It appears that anyone associated with Hanzo has been killed, says a voice. With a narrowed eye, Naruto picks up his pace slightly, thinking, interesting. Continue the search. Kill any ninja, and receiving several acknowledgements. It appears that the village is built on several levels, Naruto thought as the rain began to stop. Have you sensed me, Pain? Naruto wondered as a snake slithered from his cloak. Naruto quickly reaches an open area with numerous pipes running downward, but comes to a halt as paper floats in the air, engulfing his form as Konan partially forms. Kaden. Karadon, Naruto declares, appearing behind Konan and spewing flames to engulf him with a spear made of paper. Who are you? Why have you come to our village? Konan asks as the smoke clears. Well, I did tell Pain that I was coming to see him, Naruto says, rolling his right shoulder, and Konan's amber eyes narrow. Konan says, the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, as she rises above him and paper wings form. But of course, and you have an interesting technique. I'm sure one of my queens will want it, Naruto says, placing his hand on his right hip. Kami Shigur, Konan declares as he fires paper blades. Sweden. Mizurapa, Naruto thinks as he dodges to his right, firing a stream of water that has no effect on Konan. Even water has no effect on you. Oh yes, one of my queens will have your power, Naruto reflected as he prepared to use his Mokaton to capture Konan. Enough Konan. Return, a voice says. Naruto's eyes narrow as a tall figure appears on the raised section. He wears his orange hair in a long ponytail with fringe on the right side of his head. Yes, Pain, Konan says as he collapses into paper butterflies. He has the Rinnegan, but that is not the Pain from the photo, Naruto thinks as he narrows his eyes at Pain. So you finally come to see me, Naruto exclaims. You were a fool to come here, Kyuubi, Pain says, slapping his hands together. Kuchiyose no Jutsu, he declares. A large summoning array appears, and a large red crustacean with 8 legs and 2 pincers appears. It has numerous large spikes protruding from its lower back, as well as a very large spike in the center of its lower back. As the crab spews thick bubble-like water, Naruto narrows his eyes and back flips onto the wall before diving in. As the crab emerges, Naruto draws his Chikuto and back pedals, thinking, FTON, Kamaitachi, swinging and cutting the crab to pieces. You can't defeat me because I am a god, Pain says as Naruto narrows his eyes. God? Inquires Naruto. Yes. I have evolved from a man into a god. Through pain I have grown past human limitations. My words and thoughts have become absolute. Now surrender to me the Kyuubi. Peace will be attained with your death, Pain says. Did you not listen to Itachi? The Kyuubi cannot be released from me. Your aspirations of attaining it are for naught, Naruto says, pointing his Chikuto, as shadows cover his face. Your mortal words have no effect on me. I will have the Kyuubi, Pain says, but his eyes widen as a tri-pronged kunai streaks towards him, causing him to slam his hands together. A bright flash appears, and Naruto appears with a Rasengan aimed at his head, crashing them both into the pipes, causing a water explosion. Shinra Tensei echoes in the background. What the hell was that? Thought Naruto as he was slammed into the pipes and bounced to the outside. Do you want to know why? I'll use the Kyuubi, says a voice. Of course. Enlighten this foolish mortal, Naruto says as he looks up at the hole and sees the pain from the photo. I will create a forbidden weapon with the Kyuubi and other tailed beast. A weapon to wipe out a nation. By unleashing such a power of the world that pain will make people fear wars and true peace will reign, Pain declares. Do you think killing scores of people will bring about peace? Those are the words of a madman, Naruto says, gripping his kunai in a reverse grip. Pain raises his right hand with a blank expression, saying, no, they are not words, but reality. This world needs God's hand to guide it, and I will be that hand, as a black orb forms on his hand. Shinra Tensei, says Pain. As the concussive blast slams into Ram, Naruto flashes signs and comes to a halt, but it is sucked into an array as a third arm bursts from Naruto's back, tossing it towards Pain. Here, have it back, Naruto yells as his Shinra Tensei slams back into him. Naruto teleports to the throne kunai as Pain slowly rises to his feet, but with an angry expression on his face. How? Pain exclaims as Naruto holds up his kunai. Hiraishin, Dre. Something my father used to deflect a tail beast bomb, says Naruto. This will not stop. Pain begins but collapses like a puppet without a string, causing a wide grin from Naruto. How does it feel to have your oldest friend stab you in the back? Thought Naruto before exploding into a crow murder. Konan exclaims as her paper is found in the back and neck of an emaciated man with red hair and Rinnegan eyes. K. Konan, he says. N. Nagato. W. Who am I? Konan asks, but rose thorns emerge from the shadows to ensnare her form. Don't fight, a voice says as an array forms on Konan's cloak and Kurenai emerges partially. Foo. Don't bother. Motion function is now limited, a voice croons as Nagato attempts to move. So you're the real face of pain, Naruto says as he emerges from the shadows and slowly removes his mask to reveal his Mangeki Sharingan. This will not deter me, Kyuubi Jinchuriki, says Nagato. Oh, but it will. Trained by Jiraiya. Fought against Hanzo and killed him, it seems. Danzo's memories are a bit abstract, Naruto says as he approaches and stops with his hands behind his back.
Get away from him,
yells Konan. Naruto leans to the side, smirking. Why? He intends to kill me. Why can't I do the same? He asks. Now, where was I? Oh, Danzo. Well, the now deceased Danzo lied to Hanzo about your little group in an attempt to persuade Hanzo to help him overthrow the third Hokage, but it appears your power made Hanzo think twice, Naruto says. Geez, the ninja in this village are overzealous, Anko remarks as she joins the other queens. I agree. They all said God would smite us, Tenten says. Manda is having a field day, Hana observes as she licks some blood from her hand. Even if you kill me, there are those who will continue our cause, Nagato hisses at Naruto and his queens. I hope so. Now who wants the angel, Naruto says as his eyes begin to glow and the whites of his eyes turn black. I'll take her, says Tenten. Now you get to watch another friend die, Naruto says as he grabs Nagato by the head. As Tenten moves behind Konan, the queen's eyes begin to glow a haunting purple, and the older woman begins to look terrified. Don't worry. I'll give you the peace you so richly deserve, Tenten assures Konan, and his eyes glaze over. Yes. Thank you, Konan says dazedly. Tenten rips Konan's cloak, exposing her slender neck, before sinking her fangs slowly into the older woman's throat. Konan lets out a sharp gasp as Tenten raises her head to drink, a trail of blood running down her cloak. Nagato is forced to witness the end of his oldest friend's life, her breathing heavy and rapid, her eyes gradually dimming and closing forever. Kurenai removes the rose thorns, and Konan falls to the ground as Tenten suppresses his pleasure. I'm curious how you got his number 2 to fuck him over, says Tayuya. I'm hesitant to admit it, but the Sharingan is a hell of a dojutsu. I can only imagine what I can do with the other one in the Rinnegan, Naruto says, looking Nagato in the eyes. Damn you demon, Nagato exclaims. Naruto grabs Nagato's mouth as small tentacles enter his skin. You weren't the first to call me that, and you won't be the last, Naruto hisses as muffled screams erupt from Nagato's mouth. As Naruto groans in pleasure as tendrils erupt from his body to drag Konan's body into his own, his body gradually becomes more and more emaciated. Naruto leans forward, his face flushed with pleasure, but his body stiffens as laughter escapes his lips. Ha 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 ha. It appears that the object of my life being shit is in Akatsuki and calls himself Madara of all things, says Naruto. Madara Uchiha? Exclaims Anko. We'll see, but I doubt it. No way someone as proud as Madara would hide behind a mask. No matter once he learns of Nagato's death. He'll come, Naruto says, but notices Tenten has red cheeks. Well, let's get started. Manda destroy this building, Naruto says as a clone appears. Find Pain's main puppet body and display him for all to see, says Naruto, and the clone vanishes. The building begins to groan as the vampires vanish and the former snake boss wraps around it, slowly crushing and bringing it down. This will result in total bedlam, Hana says, and Naruto titters as Manda vanishes into the smoke and shrinks to rejoin Naruto. We should deal with that statue, adds Naruto. I know a way. Follow me, Tenten says as she closes her eyes and her body begins to degrade into paper. As everyone vanishes, one paper transforms into a plane, while the others transform into butterflies and fly towards the outskirts of the village. Tenten reforms on a large lake far outside the village as the others arrive with Shunshin. Konan prepared this for Tobi should he have betrayed them. It's 300 million paper bombs, Tenten explains. Wow. Sucks we killed her, but Panda will make good use of her abilities, Anko says. Yuya, put up a barrier. I'll summon the statue, says Naruto, and Tayuya nods, creating 3 clones. As Kurenai creates a large area genjutsu, the 4 Tayuya spread out to surround the lake, while Hana, Yugo, and Anko keep anyone away. Ninpi. Shishi engine, yell Tayuya and the clones, erecting a large barrier. Naruto closes his eyes and slams his hands together before opening his eyes to reveal a blue Rinnegan, Kachiyose, Jeed Mosh, he says. The water gurgles as a large earthen statue emerges with 9 closed eyes and raised and chained arms. Tenten when you're ready, says Naruto. Tenten transforms her lower body into wings and flies above Naruto, weaving signs to stop at Ram, Kami no Shisha no Jutsu, she says. The water separates for nearly a mile beneath the statue and sinks deeper as the paper bombs begin to explode in mass for the next 5 minutes.
This should put an end to Project Tsuki no Mi, Naruto thought as he watched the statue begin to crumble from the constant explosions.
As Tayuya lowers the barrier and the other queens return, the lake collapses on itself and the pieces fall to the depths, never to be seen again. Now that we're done. The other Akatsuki members will be looking for us. But that doesn't matter. We'll hunt them down and devour their souls, Naruto says, and all of their eyes glow purple. Now we can go and Tenten can feel you inside her, Anko says as she moves closer to Naruto and grabs his junk. Tenten gasps. Going home would take too long. So let's find an inn somewhere, Hana suggests. As the rain begins to fall again, Naruto sighs and looks to the sky, right. We'll head to River Country, he says, and all of them vanish. Anbu headquarters in Konohagakure. Sasuke clenches his teeth in rage at recent events, how can they not see? I need to kill him, he thinks. Sasuke believed he had succeeded in leaving the village to join Orochimaru and gain the power to avenge his clan and murder his brother violently. However, of all people, Naruto captured the last loyal or former loyal Uchiha. How could the Dobi do that? Wondered Sasuke. Uchiha. You have a visitor, Owl says, and Sasuke gives him a glare. Glare all you want, kid. Get up, says the owl. Sasuke slowly submits and holds his wrists, allowing the owl to cuff his hands. Mantis enters and the cells open to lead Sasuke to a room where Kakashi was waiting for the last Uchiha in Konoha. You got 20, Owl says as he leaves the room and Mantis stands guard. Sasuke. How could you betray the village? Your comrades, Kakashi begins, with a scowl on his face. I needed power. Orochimaru gave me power when this pitiful village wouldn't, hisses Sasuke. Revenge solves nothing, says Kakashi. Yes, it does. exclaims Sasuke. No, Sasuke. Even if you succeed. What then? Kakashi asks, but Sasuke remains silent. You're not the first to lose someone, Kakashi says, reflecting on his own losses. None of you know how I feel. Just like the Tobi. Maybe if I kill someone close to you. Then you would know how I feel, Sasuke says, gnashing his teeth in rage. That would be difficult to do. Everyone you're talking about has already been killed, Kakashi sighs softly. My father committed suicide, my teammates were killed in the Third War, and my sensei was killed in the Kyuubi attack, Kakashi says, looking Sasuke in the eyes. It would have been easy to give in to my hatred, but I didn't. I thought I could guide you down a better path, but it appears I failed, Kakashi adds as he rises from his seat and walks to the door. You should know. The Hokage has decided your fate. 10 years chakra sealed in maximum security and your sperm will be collected for viable candidates. Until viable children are born, Kakashi says as he walks away, leaving Sasuke in rage. How dare you do this to me? I am a Uchiha, Sasuke screams as the owl and Mantis enter to take him back to his cell. Face it, kid. Your name is no longer going to help you, the owl says. The village won't stand for this. The council will release me, Sasuke yells as he staggers into his cell. They won't. The council decided your fate, Mantis says as he removes his cuffs. Sasuke collapses on his cot in shock, but quickly returns to rage as both Anbu leave. Damn them. Damn them all. I will make the all pay, thought Sasuke. Jiraiya stands in front of Naruto's door and knocks 3 times before the door slowly opens to reveal Sai in a white robe. Hello, shameless pervert, Sai says, putting on a fake smile. Who are you? Jiraiya inquires. I'm Sai, and I serve Naruto-sama, Sai says, holding her robe, but Jiraiya can see her pale breasts. I need to see Naruto, Jiraiya says, trying not to perv out. Please enter and do not leave some of the joy you bring, Sai says as she opens the door and turns on her heels. As Sai goes to fetch Naruto, Jiraiya furrows his brow and enters slowly. Take a seat anywhere, she says before disappearing down the hall. Jiraiya looks around and settles into a recliner. What do you want? Says Naruto, dressed in a pair of black silk pajama bottoms. Jiraiya assumed the form of his godson as the blonde sat on the sofa. We need to talk. We can't avoid each other, he says. We can. We've done it for 16 years, Naruto says, his face scrunched. Look, kid, I'm your godfather and the reason for your name, Jiraiya says, slightly irritated, but Naruto scoffs. And your point? Because you wrote the book that inspired Dad to name me after the main character. That entitles you to abandon me. Lie to Tsunade about me dying. Gallivant around the countries under the guise of spying. To drink. Whore and peep, Naruto says, with no retort from Jiraiya. Unless you can turn back time and fix your mistakes. As for your prophecy. The toads can stick it, Naruto adds. The toads can teach you humility, Jiraiya snaps, but Naruto snorts and laughs a little. Perhaps, but I can live without it. Now leave. Nothing you say or do will make things better, Naruto says as he gets up from his sofa. You're wrong, Naruto, Jiraiya thought as he followed Naruto to the door. When Naruto returns to his room, he discovers his queens feeding on Sai through small cuts on her pale body. Try not to kill her. She is useful, Naruto muses as he ruffles his hair. I thought you were going to tell him about the Rinnegan? Tenten inquires, pulling from Sai's right thigh. I considered it. Rubbing it in his face that I killed his foolish student, Naruto says with a smirk, but it's better to let him find out through his spy network, he adds. When are we going to go hunt down Kidomaru? Anko asks, licking Sai's right nipple. Hell yeah. I want to fuck that bastard, says Tayuya. Soon, my lovelies, says Naruto. I'll have to deal with Hinata as well. Maybe convince Neji to kill her or do something horrible, Naruto reasoned. A megacure. A tall figure stands on a building, wearing an orange spiral mask and a Sharingan eye peeking out from beneath an Akatsuki cloak. What did you discover? The figure asks, turning, Zabuza? They add. Pain is dead, Tobi, and people are losing their minds. No one knows who killed him, but his body was on display at the main gate, Zabuza explains, standing behind the figure wearing a similar cloak and his sword wrapped in bandages. His tower has also been destroyed, Tobi says. So, what now? Zabuza inquires. Go to the hideout, Tobi says, and Zabuza nods. Don't make me regret taking you in, Tobi says, as Zabuza walks away. Tobi's eye creates a swirling vortex, which he sucks into before appearing near the largest lake, where a bulky figure was waiting. The figure depicts a large Venus flytrap in a symmetrical form of white and black. Is this the place, Zetsu? Tobi inquires. Yes. Witnesses reported seeing a large explosion from here with a large crimson barrier, the black half says. What else? Tobi asks, dissatisfied with the direction things are taking. Strange faceless women attacking, the white half says, narrowing his eyes. Women with no faces. Just mouths of teeth. Says Black Zetsu. Did you find Konan's or Nagato's body? Asks Tobi. Nope. His thingy was empty with small blood splatters. Maybe Konan betrayed us, White Zetsu says. Tobi clenches his fists within his cloak. If she did, she will regret it. Keep searching and sending word to the others, he says. Right, White Zetsu says as he sinks into the earth. Tobi stares at the lake again, but this time he kneels to pick up the remains of an explosive tag. Did you betray me, Konan? He wonders, tossing it aside and sucking himself into his eye. Konohagakure. When Hinata arrives with a blank expression on her face, Naruto is balanced on one of the stumps with Karen next to him. Karen, can you go get Senpai? You know where he is, Naruto says, and Karen nods, waving to Hinata as she walks away. So Kurenai tells me you want her to convince me to take you as one of my wives, the blonde begins, lifting his sunglasses and rubbing his eyes on the heiress. Yes. You are the Yondaime's son, and I would be better suited to be your wife than the others, Hinata responds. So because I have such a pedigree. It now suits your gaze, the blonde says, tilting his head with a subtle growl escaping his lips. Yes, and to be honest, you were an idiot when we were younger, but things have changed. I know what you were, Hinata says. You could be executed on the spot for knowing that, Naruto says, half opening his eyes with glowing purple irises. I am the heiress of the Hyuga clan, Hinata declares, but a dark chill runs up her spine. Lord Third's law regarding me is absolute. No matter your station, you can be executed, says Naruto. Hinata stands in awe as Naruto appears to peer into her soul. Why you won't kill me, she says. Naruto tilts his head as his normal eyes fully open. No, but Kurenai, Anko, Hana, Yugo, or even Tenten would, he says with a grin. Does it bother you that I chose an orphaned girl to be my mate rather than someone from a great clan? Hell, I even chose an enemy over you, Naruto says. Hinata's eyes narrow and flicker in rage, but the blonde wags his finger and says, make one move and your sister becomes heiress, but tips his glasses down. Sorry for the delay, Kakashi says as he walks up to Karen. No problem, Senpai, Naruto says as Hinata gathers her thoughts. Now, if you haven't heard Hinata, but Sasuke attempted to flee the village and was captured, Kakashi says as he clears his throat to look at the remains of his team. What does that mean for our team? Asks Hinata. Sasuke has been imprisoned, which leaves a hole in our team, but not only our team. Team Kurenai has also suffered a loss as Sakura attempted something very foolish, which leaves a hole in her team. Hokage-sama has decided to reshuffle the rookie team, Kakashi responds. All the rookies? Karen inquires, shaking his head. Team Kurenai and Guy will remain the same due to one of their members being transferred. Shino will join our team and Kiba will join Guy's team, Kakashi explains. Shame Kurenai will lose her team, Hinata says, and Naruto snorts quietly. While true, Kurenai is a new Jonin, and the situation demanded it. It has also been decided that Naruto will float between the rookie teams in between his duties as well, Kakashi says. So, when will Shino arrive, Senpai? Naruto asks, sighing as he sees Shino approaching. So, Team 7. Let's take some D-rank missions to get to know each other and build teamwork, Kakashi says, flashing his patented eye smile number 10. Have fun, Naruto says, bursting into a murder of crows, as the blonde sighs with a smile and a wave.
So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more awesome stories like this. Thank you. See you all in my next video.